Hey everybody, my name is Jan, and over the past 5 or 10 years or so, I've helped a bunch of 6 and 7-figure course businesses grow. I've also built a 6 and 7-figure education business myself. These are mostly creator businesses, so based off an online following, and most of them are in the language space. So if you have an education business and you have some kind of online following, this is going to be a useful talk to you, because recently I got invited by some of the more famous, the more well-known course platforms. They flew me in and they had me give a talk to their top schools about ways to grow their course businesses or their education businesses in 2026 and beyond. And I got a lot of good feedback on that presentation, and I thought I'm going to share it with you as well here. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm not going to share any theory. Everything that I'm sharing with you here, all the systems that I'm sharing with you here, all the tactics, whatever you want to call it, is all based on real case studies, right? So first of all, I run a community for, in case you don't know me, right? I'm assuming you don't know me. I'll be running a community for some of the top content creators in the language education space with creator empires. Most of the bigger language education channels are in it. And we also run live events twice per year for those people. So that's where we learn what's working in the industry for education businesses, or more specifically here, language businesses. And I also run a language business myself, actually a tech company now. It's called YourTeacher.ai or Teacher AI, that we launched with Sharma, famous YouTuber here. You might have seen him on the internet. White guy shocks Chinese restaurant owners speaking fluent Chinese. But the idea of Teacher AI is that you can practice your speaking skills, your foreign language speaking skills with famous language teachers on the internet, right? So that's a bit about what I do. And now for the credibility, really important. And in this presentation, I'm going to show you some of the systems that have been that will help you grow your business 2026 and beyond. So, as I said, we run events twice per year for YouTubers in the education space, mostly those in the language niche. I actually hosted my first YouTube video, uploaded my first YouTube video in 2006. And I used to have my own YouTube channel where I talked about language learning myself, but I found out that I wasn't a true YouTube star. So instead I started helping successful YouTubers doing their marketing and building their businesses. And in case what you're wondering here, crazy handbrake drift with an old Corolla, those were the kind of things that I was up to when I was 18 years old, right? Over the past a few years, worked with many of the top creators and in different niches. I will quickly go through this and then get to the meat. Street Smart Languages is a business that we co-founded with YouTubers Sharma as well, where we sell language courses. That's a 6-figure business. And then, of course, the community and the live events, I just shared that with you as well. All right, so working with all these people, building course businesses, and even like technology businesses now ourselves. Teacher AI, I told you about that. And in today's presentations, I'm going to share with you some tactics and systems from our playbook that will help you get more qualified leads, convert more leads, and eventually make customers spend more, right? So increase lifetime value. And the idea of today's presentation, I'm going to share with you a menu, right, of all the tactics, all the things that you can do with your business. And then the idea is that you pick only the one that's the most relevant for you. All right. The whole goal of this presentation is to show you ways to stabilize your business, scale, or simply work less. We all have different ambitions. As I said, I didn't invent these tactics. I'm a reporter. I'm not a guru. I'm sharing with you some of the case studies, some of the success stories from people in our community, or the things that have worked in the businesses that we are building ourselves. And this is what working right now. Are you guys ready? Let's do it. So, as you guys know, there are only 3 ways to grow a business, right? You either get more traffic, you increase your conversion, or you make your customers worth more. We start with traffic. The first strategy tactic that we're going to talk about here is a YouTube content system that generates clients and not just clicks. All right, because if you are in education, your YouTube views don't pay the bills. And I'm going to share with you a funny case study here of Ollie. I run these events that I told you about with Greater Empires, run those together with Ollie. Ollie also has a business channel. It's very tiny, only like a bit over 3,000 subscribers here. But his videos, he has a very specific avatar in mind when he records his videos. Ollie talks about business, about building online education businesses, an overlap with what we are talking about here. And it's a very small channel, but he makes big profits. I think he, like in his first year of launching this YouTube channel, he already made more than $1 million in profit per year, right? And the reason is because traffic doesn't equal revenue. As you can see here, these videos only get 100 or a few hundred views per video, right? But then people like Ali Abdal actually watch the videos, they subscribe, and even turn on the notifications. Now, why? Because the kind of content that Oli talks about attracts people like Ali, attracts established people with an education business. So this really comes down to really good positioning and creating content for exactly the kind of people that you want to attract with your brand. So kind of the old way to build a YouTube channel is to build an audience and then create a product, right? It was like a typical online marketing advice. But now YouTube seems to be so good that it seems to be the other way around. Now you first create a product or a service, you position that really well, and then you build an audience around it. And that's exactly what Ollie did. So YouTube algorithm has become so good that it will find high quality clients for you as long as you create content that your ideal customers want to watch, right? We have a really interesting case study here. This is from Stefano. Stefano is in our Inner Circle community as well. And last September, we ran a mastermind event in Tenerife where Stefano shared this case study about how in 2025 he got less views on his channel, but revenue increased by 37%. And that's monthly sales. And we are not counting course launches, right? To keep things fair. Like these numbers are not manipulated by, by marketing tricks. So less views, more revenue. How is that possible? And we have a case study about this, and I will put links in the description, like if you want to see in detail everything that he did. But the big idea here is to not track the number of views that your videos get, but to set up the number of leads that you collect through each video. All right. So you publish a ton of videos. In every video, you have a CTA where you send people to a lead magnet, right? So you give something away for free in exchange for an email address. The email address is called a lead. And then you will see that some videos are going to attract more qualified traffic. That a relatively higher percentage of the people who watch the video are going to give their email address. And yeah, those are the kinds of videos that you want to do more of, right? Because those email addresses is often what convert to sales. And when you do that for a while, you will notice that certain types of videos, it can be a certain style, it can be a certain topics, they will attract more leads than others. And that's what we mean by number 2 here. You want to identify your buckets, right? And a bucket is a kind of video, a certain style, a certain format that attracts leads, right? And you're typically going to have a few buckets that outperform other kinds of videos. And once you know what your buckets are, what the types of videos are that actually generate leads, you create more of that kind of videos. I'm not a YouTube expert at all. If you want to learn more about how Stefano did it, I will put some of the links in the I will put a link in the description. But you get the idea. And he is also an example of a tracking sheet that Stefano used for this, where you can see the tracking sheet that he used here. And again, if you want more details, you can see that in the case studies. But basically every month he downloads crucial information from YouTube, right? With the video link, the title, publication date, views, impressions, click-through rates. And then he manually adds these, there's all the kind of information. And then if you do that every month, that's how you can identify your buckets. You can identify the kinds of videos that actually attract leads and not just views. Right, so that's the mission here. And again, a bucket. What is a bucket here? I have a better description. It's basically a video style that consistently generates a lot of leads. It could be something in your titles, in your thumbnails, or the way that you start your videos, or the topics that you choose. Right. So the key is to finding patterns in those videos that perform well, not just the viral ones, but the ones that consistently attract and generate lots of leads. So the big idea, don't optimize for views. Be very clear about who you are serving, and then create videos for them. And this is like a pro tip, right? So you should ask yourself the question, who are your best kinds of customers, right? What is that ideal customer avatar? And you can figure out by actually surveying some of your best customers, collect lots of data on them, and then upload all that feedback, that survey data in GPT, and say, okay, here's my ideal customer. What are the kinds of videos that they want to watch, right? That's one way of coming up with video ideas that actually attract your ideal customer, but you can also, of course, look at existing data that you have. And then once you know what your winning buckets are, 80% of the content that you create should be, for 80%, you stick to topics in your proven buckets, and about 20% of your content, you just experiment with new topics or new video ideas. I mean, what the ideal ratio is, we don't know, but it's about 80-20. Some people say 70-30, but yeah, just to give you an idea. Right, so in short, you don't need to create more content. You don't even need more views. You need to figure out what content attracts your best customers and then create more of that kind of content. For the full case study, I will add a link in the description. By the way, what I'm doing here, there are 1,000 ways to get more traffic, right? Or to get more qualified traffic. I'm only sharing the tactics or the ways to generate more qualified traffic that seem to work, that I've seen work in our space, the people that I've worked with or in our own business, right? So this one is really important. I'm now going to give you 10 proven ways to turn YouTube views into leads. This is a case study from Davide from Podcast Italiano. And in September 2024, he joined our mastermind event that we ran in Tenerife. And one of Davide's question was, okay, how do I get more leads, right? And we gave him some tricks. He didn't get more views, but we gave him some tactics that he then implemented, and you can see that the number of leads that goes up by, I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 times more here, like 1 quarter later, right? So the big question is, without getting any more views on his videos, so what did he do? Here are 10 proven ways to turn YouTube views into leads. And again, these are from our own community. I didn't make those up myself. First of all, you want to create a custom lead magnet for each video. Right now with AI, like GPTs can create custom lead magnets for you. You want to show a screen recording of what the sign-up processes look like. That increases conversion. And ideally, you print the lead magnet and you show it in your video, right? So make it something tangible. Use the community tab to promote your lead magnets. Mention the lead magnet in the pinned comments. Is one of the best places to promote your lead magnets and get more leads. Show your face when promoting the community tab, right? So use the community tab, use your face. People subscribe because we want to see you. Test which types of lead magnets perform best and stick to that format. And then you also want to optimize your opt-in pages for mobile, right? Because tons of people nowadays are watching videos on their phones, and you want to make sure that the landing page work well on the phone as well. Also, more and more people. This depends a bit on your channel, but we have some channels where almost we work with some channels where almost half of their users, half of their fans watch videos on their TV. All right, and if you say they watch your video and you say, now go to this website, click on this link, they can't do that if they're watching TV, right? So work with QR codes can significantly increase your view to the lead conversion rate, especially if a high percentage of your fans watch on TV. These tactics here are fairly easy to implement, right? Like you can even go back to your most popular videos and just add lead magnets in the pinned comment, for example. You can start using the community tab more frequently, maybe once per week. These are really low hanging fruits to get more leads and eventually also make more money. Theoretically, like if you get double the leads, you make double the money, right? In practice, you will see that there are diminishing returns. So if you get double the leads, you might make 30% more money, maybe 20. But hey, still, like this is something that you can implement quite easily. Even an assistant can do this work. Like you don't have to do it yourself. And once you make these things your habits, they will pay off. So with our inner circle, we have run a WhatsApp community. Just sharing a win here from Vanessa, who actually started adding QR codes to her videos as well. She also saw a spike in people signing up using the QR code. So just adding in a little proof here, make it all a bit more real. Again, this is not theory. Traffic. I wanted to share my thoughts on ads here because, people are asking about ads, right? Like they all have organic traffic. Should I run ads? This is something that I've talked about quite a lot on social media and on LinkedIn. I'm skeptical when it comes to ads. I think ads can work. Let me first give you some examples, and then I will give you my conclusion. Okay, so this is Kevin here. Kevin is an old friend, and a while ago, I don't know, 5 years ago, I was on a phone call with him, and he was like, "Yeah, I have this idea. I'm gonna start." He said, "I've been pretty successful at day trading, and I'm thinking about creating a course on day trading." And he was one of the first people in the Netherlands or the Dutch-speaking market to launch a course on day trading and basically build a whole brand around that. And Kevin is not someone, he's someone technical. He had a background in IT, like no marketing. At the time, he had no marketing experience. He decided to run ads by himself because he didn't have a big audience yet. And he sold high-ticket programs. At the beginning, I think they were only a few $100s or euros. Later, he transitioned to high-ticket. There was no competition in the local market. And he was basically profitable from day one, or at least year one. And his business blew up, and he made millions and millions per year, mostly with ads, right? So in that case, ads was a huge success. And then there is someone else, and he's one of the best marketers that I know, that I look up to a lot. And he also wanted to run ads. So he was like, I have money to spend. I hired the best agency in the country to run ads for me and help me optimize my conversion rates, run all kinds of experiments with different offers, different funnels, and he basically paid that agency $20K per month, right? He also sold high ticket. The difference was that he ran it in a saturated market. So, and yeah, like Kevin here there was no competition when he started in his market. And after a year, he was still losing money every month. And he was like, this is never going to work. I'm going to quit. Right? So your ability to run, and this is my belief, your ability to run ads matters. Right? I do think that if you're really good and you keep tweaking the offer and keep tweaking the copy and tons of ad creatives, like theoretically you can make it work. Right? But the thing that you're selling and the market are a very important factor, right? If you were one of the first one to run high ticket program or to sell courses on day trading back in the Netherlands 5 years ago, like it's going to be a lot, it was going to be a lot easier for you to make money than if in 2026 you're going to run ads to a $50 self-study course, I don't know, how to learn Spanish, right? Because that market is way in the global market, in the English speaking market, because there's so much competition there that, yeah, even if you are the best at running ads, it's probably still not going to work, because other people, the bigger companies are going to win from you, right? So in my own experience, I mean, we do run ads with one of the businesses that I run, like Teacher AI, that I show you at the beginning, and they are profitable. Retargeting, for most creators, retargeting ads are likely to work, right? So they will bring in some extra cash, maybe an extra 10% in profits. I think you should be happy with that already. And they can boost sales a bit, but they most likely won't double your business for most niches. And there might be lower hanging fruits in your business. So if you are selling high ticket, that's what ads seems to work for in 2026, right? High ticket offers, you're really good at, you have good funnels, you are a marketer, you are passionate about ads, it's something that you can learn, you want to go hard on it, I would say give it a try. But for most of us, it's probably just a tool to make a bit more money. And you can quite easily do that by running retargeting ads. But again, there might be lower hanging fruits. Cold ads can work well in some niches, in other niches, or for some products that often just don't work. And you have other battles to fight, right? If you really nail your marketing and optimize your funnels, you have tons of proof, you're selling high tickets, you can give it a try. But if it doesn't work, and don't beat yourself up for it, it's probably normal, right? So it's not something that can work, but it's most likely not going to double your business unless you are a marketing ninja and you have a really proven, a really solid high ticket business. Okay, so these are 3 ways to increase your traffic and attract higher quality leads and grow your business that way, right? And I'm gonna give away more tactics. I'm gonna share more case studies and tactics in this presentation. I think for most of you, if you have a creative business, education businesses, the easiest way to grow is just to get more traffic, right? So to get more qualified traffic. So like someone asked me a while ago, is that what do all the 7-figure language businesses have in common that I've seen? And the answer is very simple. They have more traffic than anyone else, right? So if you have all the traffic, you can mess up the rest. You're still going to make more money than someone with the best marketing in the world and a tiny audience. All right. So if, like I always ask the question, how would you rate yourself for your YouTube efforts? And if it's less than a 7 or 8 out of 10, then you should probably just optimize your traffic, your YouTube. That's what I'm doing here, right? I know this as well, and I know this is also the constraint in this own business and what we are doing with Greater Empires. Okay, let me continue, right? So conversion. A second way to make more money is by increasing your conversion rate, right? Converting more emails into leads into customers. What's the easiest way to do that is just by creating a better offer. All right, and let me show you how you can do that, right? So if you want to create a better flagship offer, so a flagship, your flagship offer is the thing that you're going, the product, the offer that you're going to be most proud of, right? The thing that you're going to sell first. And typically that's something that 80% of your audience are going to be interested in, right? You want to sell results, not a course. And it needs to be very clear how it's different from your free content and from other courses, right? From your competition. Ideally, you have your own style or your own method. It should be low risk. It's low risk if they can get their money back, for example. Or there's tons of proof that the thing works. And it needs to be high trust, right? So, well, that's what I said. Like, people need to believe that your thing actually works. You need to have the proof. Ideally, you also add urgency, right? You need to give them a reason to buy now. And will now give you some example, right? So this is a case study from our own business, from Teacher AI. And so with this app, with Teacher AI, users can get speaking practice, right? So the idea is you buy a language course, you buy a Spanish course, you finish the course, you know some grammar, you know the vocabulary, but you still haven't spoken any Spanish, right? So what do, you go to Teacher AI, and then in the app you can talk to AI Spanish teachers that correct your mistakes. And you don't need to be embarrassed, right? Because many people don't want to practice their speaking skills because they feel embarrassed, they get nervous, they get anxious. Now with AI, you can talk to AI tutors who are always available, and they're very cheap as well, right? So that's why we built Teacher AI, and we were like, okay, how can we improve our offer and essentially increase our conversion rate, right? So we added a new feature in the app. We added a leaderboard feature, right? In the app, it's all about activating more words, right? So the idea is you have the words in your head after you've taken that Spanish course, but then in the app, you're actually going to activate them. And we count the number of unique words that you use yourself. And we call that the number of activated words. All right. So in this leaderboard, we can see and we can track which users have activated the most number of words during a certain month. All right. So we were like, okay, now that we can track this, maybe we can run a challenge. Right. At the first of every month, we launch a challenge. People need to use the app every single day. So they need to build a 30-day streak and activate at least 300 words by the end of the month. And if they succeed, we give them the money back. In exchange, we do ask for, like, they need to share on social media that they are participating and that they've completed the challenge successfully with our app, right? We take screenshot, we can use that as proof, as testimonials. It makes the app more shareable. People are happy to talk about their own achievements. And so that way, we also build urgency because every month we have something that we can promote and that people share on the internet. And they get the money back, right? So they get more results. It creates more goodwill, and it's a better offer for them as well. And we got tons of testimonials since we are doing this. Also, much better rating in the App Store and everything. Much more sales since we since we are running the challenges, much higher sales as well. We started doing this in December last year. Now, why does this work? It's not about our business, right? It's like, okay, what are some of the learnings that you can take away from this? As I said, like in 2 slides ago, you want to offer something that 80% of your audience is going to be interested in. The Teacher AI mailing list, we have about 70,000 people there. They're all interested in practicing their speaking skills, right? That's why they sign up. So we offer the speaking challenge, something that most of those people, if they're interested in speaking, are going to be interested in. It's basically an implementation program, right? We help them implement, we help them speak, we give them a reason to join us now. We sold results and not a course. So we sold the promise to practice their speaking skills every day and activate at least 300 words in 30 days, right? It's quite specific. Also sounds quite feasible, right? Like, hey, that's something I can do every day. It needs to be very clear how it's different from your free content, right? Or from other apps. As far as we know, we are the only app. There are more AI language apps, language tutoring apps. But as far as I know, we're the only one that have like a live community, and we do live streams and where we run these challenges every month. We have our own style. Like in our app, it's all about activating words. It's low risk because they get the money back if they win. And the app is only $15 per month to start with anyway, right? It's also high trust because they actually believe, like logic tells people that if they practice, most people believe that if they do practice their speaking skills every day, that they get better and feel more confident, right? That's just logic. And then the urgency was that we're going to start on the 1st of the next month, right? So every month we create this killer offer, we send it out, and then conversion goes up. We're selling the same thing, we just package it in a different way. We add some community aspect and we make it more fun, add some gamification to it, right? And you can also do that with your offer, right? Think about like, what is the thing that you have and how can you make it more engaging? How can you make people talk about it with their friends? I hope that this was an example of what you could do. Sell over email. I need to mention this one. People who are in our community, they know this, right? Here are basically all the reasons why you should sell over email. Like some people, the super fans who know you from YouTube, from your content, they might go to your website and buy a course straight away or enroll in your program. But most of them don't do that, right? Most emails, the very vast majority of sales is still generated by email. Good old email marketing, even in 2026, right? Here are all the reasons. On YouTube, the algorithm decides who sees your message. If you want to sell something, you can just send an email and get in, 50,000 inboxes instantly, right? In a few minutes. It's more intimate. YouTube feels like a stage. Like there's a lot of things going on there. Email is more like a conversation. There is more trust. There are no distractions in your inbox. Like people are arranged, they make payments, they pay bills, they pay attention to what's going on in their inbox. And email just converts way higher than doing a shout out on social media. Email readers are warmer. They have already raised their hands and said, okay, you can send me emails, let me know about your offers. Control, right? Like social media platforms can block your channel, but algorithms change, but your email list is yours, right? So you will sell more if you sell over email, if you collect emails, send them valuable newsletters, insights, just updates, and every now and then an offer. Again, this one is quite basic, but I needed to I needed to mention it anyway. I've been doing some work for Ollie behind the scenes, and Ollie runs this. He runs a mentorship program. It's called Elevate, and when you join it, you get access to a bunch of systems that can actually help you write these emails, right? Because now with AI and with ChatGPT and Claude, like writing email campaigns is actually quite easy. You have custom GPTs now that you can use, where you just click on the number of, or like the kinds of email promotion that you want to write, right? So it could be like a flash sale, a 3-day flash sale sequence. It could be like a course launch sequence of 10 days. You just click on it. It will ask you some information about your business, about the offer, and then it will go ahead and write the emails for you, right? So, I won't go deeper than that for now, but I'm just saying, if you want to write email campaigns like nowadays, it's got so much easier with AI and Claude. Claude is great at writing. And if you somehow have access to custom GPTs, actually, I will share them with you as well. I will share those custom GPTs that I mentioned here in the description as well. You can play around with that, but you will see that writing email campaigns gets really easy nowadays. You can even write in your voice, right? So again, for more, if you want to learn more about this, check the link in the description. So here's basically how it works, right? So here in this first screen, you select the number of the kind of email sequence that you want to write. And then you feed it with some information about your customer avatar, about your sales page. It will ask you some more questions, and then we'll go ahead and write the email sequence for you one by one. If you want to test it yourself, check the link in the descriptions. Quick disclaimer, custom GPTs are not perfect, but it will save you a lot of time. All right, I use GPT or Claude for, almost every email. I just talk to it, and I asked it to write an email. There is very little editing that I have to do at the end. It saved me so much time. You want to run monthly email promotions, in case you haven't been done that now. Crazy, right? Want to make more money? Make more offers, at least once per month. And at least once per month. Ideally, if you have enough products, you can do 2 promotions per month. Right, and then there are different kinds of campaigns. Extended campaigns. This is like your big event promotion, right? So you think about like a new course launch or Black Friday sales. These sales campaigns are often between 10 and 14 days. So 1 email per day for 10 or 14 days. The standard promotion just reading my slides here. Open close offer on a course from your back catalog, or a seasonal tie-in, like a back to school sale, for example. These are typically 7 days. I don't know why I wrote 10 to 14 days here. And then a flash sale, and the flash sale is typically just like a discount. That's much easier to explain. You can do that in 2 to 3 days. And again, you can use the custom GPT for that. That I will share with you as well. Link in the description. At the beginning of each year, you want to sit down, you want to plan out your promotions, right? And make sure you have at least one per month. And then it's typically a mix of standard promotions, flash sales, and extended campaigns. So what we do for like Street Smart Languages, we basically have a list where we have all the courses, and then we can see if we can make interesting combinations, interesting bundles. We can make offers where we can add bonuses. So it requires a bit of creativity. But GPT can help with this as well, right? You just feed it with all the courses that you have, and you say, hey, here's everything that I have. Help me create a promotional calendar, and then you will get something like this, right? So you basically have something to sell every month, and you can repeat like the best offers twice per year. Use your creativity to come up with different offers every single month, and you can do that even if you have a very limited amount of courses. Right? You can package things a different way. We have different trainings on that, by the way. I even have a full training on email promos that I'm giving away here as well. Link in the description in case you want to learn more on this. Right, so these were the 3 ways to convert more clients: creating a better flagship offer, selling over email, run monthly promotions. Of course, there are way more things that you can do, but I'm gonna, in this presentation, I'm only focusing on the most important ways. Offers, right? So the idea here is to make your customers worth more, to increase your lifetime value. And the first one is price testing. Pricing is always where you have the most leverage. Like this, like the graph that you see here, this is a split test, pricing split test that we recently run in one of our businesses. And it took us about 3 months to run the split test. And what you see here is lifetime value of a lifetime value of a website visitor, traffic lifetime value. And that's essentially what you want to optimize for, right? Not necessarily your customer lifetime value, but your traffic lifetime value. And we just saw that like the new price point that we test outperformed the old price point by about 30%. So we didn't change anything in the business. We only changed the price, and it leads to 30% more revenue, which is crazy, right? And the most interesting thing here, you would think that we increase the price. Well, we actually lower the price. Why do we lower the price? This was based on feedback. This is not a personal brand business. This is like a business brand with lots of competition, mass market. Right? So there you are more likely to make more money by charging less. Right? It was also based on reviews, on feedback. If you have a personal brand business, I mean, it depends on your feedback, but I would almost bet that you would, I think in that case, I would rather test higher price points, right? And you can obviously only run these tests if you have a lot of traffic, right? Because you need a lot of data. You need at least 100 purchases at both price points. Right, so you need at least 200 purchases, 200 sales to come up with a significantly, what do you call this in statistics? Like you need to have a significant difference, right? And that's typically only with 95% certainty, and that's only about if you make about 100 sales at each price point. So if you do have a lot of traffic, I really recommend you run a split test. This is for an app. We use RevenueCat for that. You can also do this on WordPress, or like if you host your course on like Teachable or another course platform. Again, links in the description with more information. But yeah, don't forget, especially if you've never done this before, I really think you should, because it's not a lot of work and the upside is can be huge. This one looks boring, right? How can you make your customers worth more? By increasing your product, right? Just make them happier. And because then they're going to be more likely to tell their friends, leave good reviews, and buy again from you. And like with Teacher AI, we do this in a very simple way. Basically, everybody who buys receives this email after 5 days. This is a very simple automations in Kit, where we just ask them, "Are you happy with the product?" Right, and then if they say that they're unhappy, we send them to a form. This is just a Google form, and we ask them why, and then our support actually reaches out to them and helps them out, or gives them a refund, or whatever they want. Like, we help them out. If they're very happy, we ask for feedback, and we ask them to leave a review as well. So every now and once in a while, we go through all this feedback, and we learn why people are canceling. We learn why they are happy, and we make improvements based on that feedback, right? Cancellation, like if you're selling some kind of subscription, cancellation reasons, you can download them and export them from Stripe, for example. Also something that we analyze. We analyze reviews on App Store or Google Play. Like basically, ask for feedback, look for feedback everywhere. I would say just import everything into GPT and ask it what, like, add a prompt and ask it, say something like, hey, we want to improve our product so that people stay longer or they spend more. What should we do? Right? And then it will go ahead and analyze all that feedback for you. And then you make improvements based on your feedback. I think when you have a consumer product and you're going mass market, this is even more important than if you have a personal brand, right? Because if you have a personal brand, you have all this goodwill. But I think, like, as a general practice, it's still really important to ask for feedback and just help your customers better, because that's the only way, like, improving your product and keep getting better and better. That's really the only way to build a sustainable business long term, right? If your product is really that good, like, it will do all the marketing for you. I am a marketer myself, and I believe in marketing tactics or tricks, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, your marketing can only be as good as your business is only going to be as good as your product, right? So this one is boring, but I think it's really important. And then, another way to make customers work more is by just creating more products, right? Solve one problem at a time. This is something that creators often do wrong. You want to build the best course in the world that solves all their customers' problems, right? But that's often not how it works, because the course is going to be too overwhelming. It's not going to be specific enough. It's going to be hard to sell. Ideally, you want to sell what they call peaks along the mountain, selling peaks along the mountain, right? So there is a problem. The customer is at a certain place, and this is the person that they want to become. And then there is a journey, right? And they need to overcome all these obstacles. And you want to sell the solutions to each obstacle that they will face on the way. So you don't want to buy a course, you want to buy a course ecosystem, right? And this is just like a simple example of what a course ecosystem can look like. Usually it's like someone wants to become fluent in Spanish, right? So you have a beginner course, intermediate course, you have an advanced course. And then once they've done all the levels, they realize, I need more speaking practice. Right, so you sell like a speaking club, which is a membership and a continuity thing that you see here. Or people are like, yeah, my Spanish is pretty good, but my pronunciation is off. So you have like a premium course or a premium coaching program where you help them with the pronunciation. Right, it's about building a course ecosystem, and that's really how you build lifetime value. Right, you often just need to create more courses, especially if you only have 1 or 2 courses. Like, the easiest way to make more money in a short run is by just creating another course. Solve the next problem for your customer. Now, selling high ticket is a hot topic in 2026 and beyond. We talked about this a lot at our events in Portugal and Lisbon last year. This was a hot topic. Basically, for these 3 reasons. SEO is collapsing under AI-generated content, right? Information is for free. YouTube algorithms change all the times. Ads are getting more and more expensive. And high-ticket offers let you earn more from fewer leads and can protect revenue when traffic drops. Also, for B2B, it's a natural fit, right? Like, B2B customers, they often don't want to buy information. No, they want handholding. You want someone to do the work for them. They want access to you. So if your audience is specialized, teachers, professionals, or corporate clients, you will never reach mass scale anyway. So the only way to make more money is by just going deeper, sell high ticket, right? And it's also just future proof. As I said, AI is commoditizing information. All the information is out there for free, but what remains scarce is personal transformation. So coaching, feedback, accountability, and trust. Human connection becomes your differentiator. This is also what we're doing with Creator Empires, by the way. We're giving away all this information for free, but people still want human connection, right? They still want feedback from someone who's done it. So that's why people come to our events. And I guess that's high ticket as well. Examples in the language space is high-ticket coaching programs, right? People can take a course, but there are many people who are happy to pay 1,000 or 2,000 euros, pounds, whatever, for like a 2-month plan where they work with a coach who really analyzes where their weaknesses are and helps them fix certain mistakes that they make in the language that they want to learn, whether it's pronunciation, vocabulary. We have a few interesting case studies, and which I think I'm sharing, which you will also be able to access through the link in the description. I think, at least. All right, so now the question for you is, where is your biggest gain, right? Because there's all these ways that you can grow your business. But where is the gap? Where is the hole in your business? Are you putting enough effort into your YouTube channel or Instagram or whatever you do, wherever your audience is, wherever you're building an audience? Are you doing all these things to collect more leads? Can you increase your offer? Are you doing email marketing? Do you have a welcome sequence? Are you doing a promotion every month? Have you tested your pricing? Can you build more courses? Or maybe you already have an entire course ecosystem, and then the question is, have you considered selling high ticket? Is this something that could work? Where is the constraint in your business? And I think you often know. If you don't know, well, I guess you have to figure out. That's your task as the CEO, as the owner of the company, right? Figure out where the constraint is and then fix it. And these are just some examples of what you can do to improve your traffic conversion and offers. Of course, we can up with many more techniques, right? But I just wanted to share the things that, some of the tactics that are the easiest to implement and the most likely to work in case you aren't doing these yet. Okay, so pick one. And that's really important because there's always only one constraint is going to be the biggest constraint in your business, right? And you're going to get the highest ROI by focusing on just that one, like the big domino, as Tim Ferriss calls it, right? Once you fix that thing, everything else in the business is going to be easier. Which one is it? I think for many content creators, it comes down to just doubling down on YouTube, create better videos, and get more traffic, create more trust, and everything else will be easier. But something else in this list might be your constraint. It's that's your homework. And then often the question is, okay, I don't have time to implement. I need to create content, right? You are a content creator after all, not necessarily a business builder. This is a question that I recently asked in our WhatsApp group, in our inner circle, like how much time would you like to spend on content creation versus running the business? It's a bit 50-50. I think many of the language businesses, they are like entrepreneurial language teachers, right? So they are teacher by heart, but at the same time, they kind of like building their own thing. If you really just want to create content, it's really better that you partner up with someone who can run the business for you. You hire an operator, so you keep your time free for content creation. Whereas if you want to focus on the business, then you might want to build a content production team, right? Who does the script writing, who does the research, build a video production team, who just show up one day every 2 weeks, sit down in front of a teleprompter, you record all the videos, and you spend most of your time in the business. You limit the time that you spend on content. And some people want to do both, right? And then you can get some help with both, because it's of course a lot of work. How can you delegate? How can you get help? First, master the task yourself. Document everything. Create systems. And once you have the system, find someone. Delegate the work. And delegate the work to them. And then use your freed up time to work on higher leverage activities, right? On fixing the next problem, the next constraint in your business. So recapping everything, how are you going to grow this year? First of all, you need to identify where your biggest gain is, where the constraint of your business is, where the opportunity in your business is. One of these points on the left here. Identify the opportunity. Do you have time to implement yourself? Yes. Great. Use smart templates, use AI, use systems to get the thing done. Ask me. Also check out the resources in the in the description. If not, then first do it yourself, document it, and then delegate it to someone else to create more time, or hire an operator if you want to focus on content. Thanks. And now I will share with you, this is the bonus part. I will share with you how I do this, right? Because I have a system for identifying the bottlenecks as well. And so I'm going to show you some like tracking sheets that I use for Teacher AI. I think that for most creator businesses, it's easier to identify what the bottleneck is, because those businesses are, I think they are simpler than like the tech company that we're building here, the SaaS company of Teacher AI. Because this business is more complex. I think there are more variables. There's a lot going on. We are selling a web app. We are selling in the app stores. They were running tons of, well, let me just show it to you, right? So what we do with Teacher AI is, first of all, we track everything, right? So here I have a sheet with all the most important data. So the average engagement time per user, average active users per day, and then like everything that we need to know about the web funnel, right? So unique website visitors, new customers, blah, 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 number of trials. We have an app funnel as well. Right? We have people finding us via the app stores and everything. Lots of data when it comes to retention, habituation, paid ads. We have affiliates, right? And then like app store rating. These are all things that matter, right? So this is data that we collect every single week. And I first built this myself, this system. Here I have all the links so now like my assistant can come in once per week and they know exactly, okay, if I want to go here, if I want to get this data, I go to this link. And if I want to know, if I want to get this number, I just click on this link, right? So I created this system and I made it really easy for an assistant to come in and to collect all this data. And then I have a tab here with important events. As you can see, I've blacked out most of it. But basically, whenever we do something important, so whenever we launch a new campaign, new promotion, we make a big change in the app, whatever, I write it down here together with the date. Right, and then what I do is once per week or once every now and then, I feed this data. I feed all these numbers together with the important events to GPT. I add cancellation feedback. So I add I add data from Stripe. Why do people cancel? We add data from customer support, like what are people asking for, what are people asking customer support. We feed all that data, so the key metrics, important event, and customer feedback. We put that in GPT. I have a custom GPT here that knows everything about the business. And I say, okay, here's all the recent data. Based on this, what is our bottleneck? What should we do to grow the business? All right? And I think very often you know what the problem is, you know where the opportunity is, but GPT is just really good at analyzing and is a really good sparring partner, right? Because sometimes it just sees things that you can't see, And then on top of that, it can come up with really good idea to fix the problems that you know exist in your business. So yeah, this way you're really creating really like a co-CEO, right? That can help you make strategic decisions. Now, if you do those brainstorm sessions with GPT, you're going to get lots of ideas of things that you can do, right? So what I then do is I go to this sheet here, and here I have a list with all the things that we can do to increase our traffic or to attract better traffic, right? And that could be spend more money on Facebook ads, do more cold outreach. It could be attracting more affiliate partners. It could be running AdSense. It could be more white label apps, right? More B2B deals. So I basically feed this column with all the ideas that I get from myself and from GPT, and the same I do for conversion, right? There's so many ways we can increase our conversion. Run challenges every month, right? Like with Teacher AI, we can flip the onboarding flow and actually add a free trial so that people can experience the app before they see the paywall. Tons of things that we can do. Ideas from myself and ideas from GPT based on all this brainstorming and all the data that it has, right? And the same with product, right? And especially with a tech product like this, like GPT analyzes customer feedback, user retention, and can come up with tons of ideas to improve the product. And we basically add them here, right? And then I just pick one thing. Okay, what are we going to do with traffic? How are we going to improve our traffic? Bang. We're going to do more cold outreach to affiliate partners, right? Conversion. How are we going to increase our conversion? Well, we're going to flip our onboarding flow. We're going to create a free trial. Bang. And then me as a CEO, I'm just going to focus on one of these, on one bottleneck, right? Sometimes because we do have a tech team, I can actually work on one bottleneck that's related to traffic, for example, whereas the tech team can upgrade the product or fix something in the product. So in that case, we can attack two bottlenecks at the same time. But yeah, as a CEO, you should only be focusing on one. If you have a separate tech team, then you could maybe work on two constraints in the business at the same time if you have a team. So yeah, that's just the behind the scenes how we do it at Teacher AI. It's a bit more advanced. So yeah, this presentation, I really keep things simple. And I think that if you're just running a creator business, I'm saying just because creator businesses are, I think they're simpler, less complex than like the SaaS company that we built. And I think for most creator businesses, most creators, like after seeing this, you probably know where you're leaving money on the table or where the opportunity is, right? So identify that problem and then just work on it until it's fixed. And then you go back and look for the next bottleneck, right? When fixing these things, use smart system, use custom GPTs for your email marketing, brainstorm with GPTs, with GPT about potential solutions, analyze your customer feedback. And if you need any of these systems or if you have any other questions, just let me know. That's it. If you like this presentation, maybe you want to consider to join one of our in-person events. All the info is in the description. Bye-bye.